Previewing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the San Francisco 49ers, it's Buccaneers Week 12. Guys, what's going on? James here, and like I said, we're going to be previewing the 49ers versus the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are on a 3-game losing streak, which is, it's not good. It's not good. They just lost to the Giants, who had more losses than them, and now they're playing the 49ers, which I believe they have the same amount of losses as them, and the 49ers are completely banged up, so hopefully the Buccaneers can get a win here. And actually, if you're one of the people who are really jockeying for the Buccaneers to get a high-end draft pick, then this is probably the game for you, because if the Buccaneers do lose this game, I'm not 100% sure, but I think they might actually be shot up into the top 5. I know they're in the top 7 right now or something like that, but I think they could even get up as high as top 3 overall pick in this upcoming draft. So, hey, if you want the Buccaneers to lose and get a better draft pick, this is probably like the best game for you ever right now. But I'm still in the camp of people who want to see the Buccaneers win. I know, I understand having a high draft pick is pretty nice as well, but I don't like watching this team lose. I want to see them keep on winning, and we're facing a very banged up 49ers team. They're on their 3rd string quarterback, their 3rd string running back, among other injuries around the team, but you can never count them out due to their just phenomenal head coach pick, Kyle Shanahan, who is just an offensive guru. So how do the Buccaneers match up? Let's get right into it. First big thing that we're going to be talking about real quick is Jameis Winston. Again, he's the starter again. It went Fitzpatrick, Winston, Fitzpatrick. Now back to Winston. Okay, you know, we're playing musical chairs with our quarterback situation, but that's fine. Jameis Winston this last game had 4 drives that resulted in 4 touchdowns versus the New York Giants. He almost brought them back from that 38-35 loss. He was probably around this close, okay? The defense obviously couldn't hold it towards the end, like has been the case for this whole season. But hopefully Jameis Winston's able to get in and start, you know, doing some things better, because, you know, so far this year he has not been doing some very good things at all. Hopefully he calms down, makes better decision making. Like I said, he's fighting a very, very banged up 49ers team, so hopefully he can take advantage. He still has all of his weapons at his disposal, and he's still pretty much the Jameis Winston we all know, and we all know, I guess I should say. So definitely interested to see how Jameis Winston does. Will he be good Jameis or bad Jameis or somewhere in between? I actually posted a poll talking about this, talking about how, oh, you know, Jameis Winston is the starter again. What do you guys think? And I think the highest option that was picked was actually ended up being that we're going to probably see a mix of good and bad Jameis, which is probably par for the course at this point. Probably going to be a decent amount of touchdowns as well as a decent amount of turnovers. But I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we see good Jameis, because good Jameis is really, really darn good. What'll be another interesting thing is if Jameis Winston does bad, do we go back to Fitzpatrick? You know, what's going to happen here? Because a lot of people have been saying, well, let's play Jameis Winston the rest of the year so that way we know what we have in him. And yeah, I completely understand that argument, but Dirk's going to do what he needs to do to win as many games as he can. So I'm actually curious, if Jameis Winston has a bad first half, do we see Fitzpatrick come in? More musical chairs? You know, I'm very curious. I'm very, very interested to see what's going to happen in this game at the quarterback position. But moving on from that, the next person I want to talk about is actually Buccaneers running back Peyton Barber, who I've actually not had the opportunity to mention a lot in these videos and just overall this season, because he hasn't done anything. And last week was his best game by far. He had over 100 yards and a touchdown. They actually ran the ball with him, something that Dirk Cutter even said in a press conference. He was happy that they were able to stick with the running game and whatnot. And I'm really hoping that Peyton Barber can build on this recent really good game that he had against the Giants, really work on that, and just have another over 100-yard touchdown game. You know, that'd be awesome. You know, that'd be exactly what we ask of Peyton Barber. You know, it'd be perfect for me. It'd be perfect. So I really hope that Peyton Barber can build on the momentum that he made last week and continue to have these really nice games, and hopefully they use him a little bit more moving forward in the last 6 games of the season. Next thing I want to talk about is the defense. Now, obviously, our linebacker core is just absolutely riddled with injuries. We have Quan Alexander on the injured reserve, Kendall Beckwith on the injured reserve, who didn't even play a single game this year. That sucks. And you also have Levante David, who's probably not going to be playing this game. So again, you have another linebacking trio of Riley Bullough, Adarius Taylor, and Devontae Bond. They didn't do the best last game. Saquon Barkley pretty much destroyed them. And in this game, they're going to be going up against running back Matt Breida. Is that his name? Matt Breida. I think it's something along those lines. The 49ers have had a really weird time with running backs. They had Rasheem Morris, I believe was his name, or Rasheem Moister, but he broke his arm, and then Jerick McKinnon also ended up on the injured reserve as well. And then Jimmy Garoppolo ended up on the injured reserve as well, so they're down to their third string quarterback, Nick Mullins. So hopefully a combination of Nick Mullins and Matt Breida don't destroy us, but I suppose that'd be a very typical Buccaneers thing to do. But, you know, regardless of who they're going up against, the linebackers are a big part of that, and the Buccaneers are down to basically their third stringers at this point, considering how even Jack Sitchie was placed on the injured reserve as well. They're basically down to, you know, guys who weren't originally on the roster and guys who were either backups or third stringers this year and in previous years. So a little bit cautious, as I always am, but hopefully the linebackers gel a little bit more this week, and hopefully they get some better things going in terms of stopping the running backs and stopping the passes over the middle of the field. Another curious question is, will Nick Mullins have a career game against the Buccaneers? It seems like every time the Bucs play a backup quarterback, from guys like Case Keenum, Nick Foles, you know, among others, you guys know all the quarterbacks that the Bucs have played who just absolutely destroy us. Derek Anderson's very notorious for just ruining our lives. So will Nick Mullins join that group of backup quarterbacks who just ruin the Buccaneers? I really don't want that to happen, because I'm so sick of seeing it. You know, every single time the Bucs play a backup quarterback, for the most part, they just kill us. They just absolutely kill us. Nick Mullins, he's played in a couple of games now. He was not originally the original replacement for Jimmy Garoppolo. I believe that was C.J. Beathard, but Mullins came in, started to play some pretty decent games, and then now he's the full-time starter, at least for the rest of the year. So, oh man, I hope that's not the case. I know that the 49ers still have some really nice receiving weapons. They have George Kittle, who's just absolutely blown up this year. They have Pierre Garçon. They have Marquise Goodwin. They have some high-flying, quick weapons, and I just, you know, the Bucs secondary has been really rough this year. It's also been a little bit dinged up. I don't think MJ Stewart's playing in this game, which is, you know, part of the reason why they signed a Josh Shaw. So you're going to have Carlton Davis, Brent Grimes, who really haven't been doing that well with speedy receivers this year, like guys like Marquise Goodwin, which I'm most worried about. So I really hope that Goodwin doesn't bomb us for a touchdown, but that seems like a totally reasonable thing that could happen in this game, and I just don't want Nick Mullins to destroy us, okay? That's not fun. Final thing I want to mention, guys, is the kicking situation. Cairo Santos hit all 4 of his extra points in the last game. I did a live stream reacting to the past game. I've been doing it for the past couple of games, and everybody was freaking out in the chat every time every time Cairo Santos hit an extra point. It was actually hilarious. So I want this to continue. He hasn't had the chance or the opportunity to hit any long field goals yet. In fact, he hasn't had the opportunity to hit any field goals, so we don't know. But it seemed like a lot of you guys in the live stream last week were pretty confident that Santos was going to be the one to break the curse. I hope so. I'm just so sick of watching kickers fail in Tampa Bay. It's actually pretty astonishing how often that Jason Light has just not been able to nail a solid kicker for multiple years. You know, it's just every year we're rotating kickers. It's very interesting, because it's astonishing. We just blow through kickers like they're nothing, you know. So hopefully Santos is the guy to break this curse. You know, hopefully he makes all of his kicks. You know, if he misses one kick though, don't freak out too much. But hopefully he nails all of his kicks, he breaks this silly curse, and we can finally put things to rest and have a long-term kicking option and potentially Cairo Santos. I'm really hoping that is 100% the case. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think about all of this down in the comment section below. What do you think is going to happen with Jameis Winston at the quarterback position? Do you think he's going to do good, bad, somewhere in between? Like I said, the poll that we did, a lot of you guys said that he was going to be somewhere in between. I think that was the majority option. If he does bad, do you think he's going to get taken out in the second half to be replaced by Ryan Fitzpatrick? Or do you think they keep Jameis in the whole game and they then play Fitzpatrick the next week, basically playing musical chairs with their quarterbacks and whatnot? How do you think the second and third string linebackers are going to do for the Buccaneers versus Nick Mullins and Matt Breida? I know a lot of people are not the most optimistic about that, considering it's a backup quarterback. He ruins everybody's lives, but I'm going to still try and be optimistic about it. Hopefully they do some good things to disrupt the young backup quarterback. And then, you know, what are your thoughts on Peyton Barber? How do you think he's going to do? What are your thoughts on all the Buccaneers receiving weapons, as always? And, you know, what are your thoughts on Cairo Santos? Do you think he's the guy to break the kicking curse? Or do you think that this is another problem that they need to take into the offseason yet again for like the third year in a row? I want to know all that down in the comment section below. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed. Go check out the Patreon if you want to support the channel and whatnot. And until next time, guys, I will see you in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.